Hey everyone, and welcome to the channel. So today we get to take a look at the all-new redesigned 2023 Chevrolet Colorado. This is the Z71, finished off in radiant red with an MSRP just over $47,000. Underneath the hood, you'll find the 2.7 liter 4-cylinder turbocharged engine that's paired to the 8-speed automatic transmission, pumping out 310 horsepower, 391 pound-feet of torque. That power is sent to the rear wheels. The Z71 package, of course, includes 4-wheel drive. This weighs in right around 4,600 pounds. It'll do 0 to 60 in around 7 seconds, up to its top speed of 135 miles an hour. It also has a fuel capacity of 21.4 gallons. You'll expect to see around 17 miles per gallon in the city, 21 out on the highway. This also has a wheelbase of 131.4 inches. Its overall length is 213. It has a width of 84.4, a height of 79.6. Its ground clearance measures in at 10.7 inches, and it also has an approach angle of 38.3 degrees, a breakover angle of 24.6, and a departure angle of 25.1 degrees. As we move on to the exterior styling now for this all-new Colorado, it really looks like a mini Silverado with all the changes that they have made for the exterior, especially in the front with the gloss black that runs through the middle. It has that same vibe as the Silverado, but for this model, there's the two-tone on the Chevy bow tie, plenty of cutouts in the grille to provide extra cooling, even some cutouts in both sides, which is nice to see. The gloss black also extends to just underneath the LED headlights, DRLs, and turn signals. They have a very thin housing to them, especially where the turn signal is, so it's integrated nicely with the bodywork and the grille just underneath that. Now this also has fog lights. Those are on the trim pieces on both sides. There's even more cutouts right in the middle, along with the brush trim piece for the middle section of the bumper. 2 tow hooks are in the lower section, and then this also has a lower air dam. Interesting to see for the Z71, but that is removable. So if you want to take this off the pavement, you can get a little bit more of a better approach angle by removing that piece. And then there are some very nice bulges in the hood, which again gives it more of that Silverado vibe. So for a smaller size truck, definitely has that added aggression. Now as we work our way to the side, this has a set of 18-inch wheels with the two-tone design to them. These also have the Kevlar reinforced all-terrain tires, so you have a little bit beefier of a setup when you take this off the pavement. The side mirrors are gloss black. This does have a sunroof up top, and a lot of mid-sized trucks are putting the gloss black right in the middle, so it kind of just ties in nicely with the windows rather than having the body colored in the middle. Colorado badge is just underneath one of the lines that runs right through the middle of the door, and then of course in the lower section there are some more indentions, as you can see. This Colorado has the quad cab with the shorter bed on it. I think it has a really good side look to it. Z71 is also on the side of the bed, and then the single exit exhaust is over on the passenger side. Now as we work our way to the rear, Chevrolet is stamped right through the middle of the tailgate. There's the backup camera, LED lights. The bumper is gloss black with all the sensors. There's even a side step. So there's one on each side, along with the grab handle up top, so it makes it much easier to enter and exit this bed. And even though this has a 4-cylinder turbocharged engine, it's capable of towing up to 7,700 pounds, which is very impressive to see. Let's go ahead and remote start this though. All I need to do is double tap this button on the key fob. We can bring this quickly to life. Now if you want to shut this off for whatever reason, simply just hold on that button, and then from there, this does have a locking tailgate. So if I unlock it, of course, now we have access into this bed. It has the soft opening tailgate, which is nice to see. All of the spray-in bed liner here to provide even more protection. There's tie-down hooks, even an outlet over on that passenger side. We did have a motorcycle in the back. Might be a little bit tight for two dirt bikes possibly. There's no channels for extra tie-downs, but there are 4 on each side. So you could make it work. Maybe adding some other accessories might help with that too. But what I also love about this tailgate is you can actually unlock this lower section, and check this out. You have an area where you can place some straps, maybe recovery hooks, anything like that. I'm not exactly sure what this is in the center. Maybe there's an attachment so you can lock some items in. That way they don't slide around. And then I believe that there is a hole right there. So you could use this as a cooler or something like that. Very nice to see that integration because tailgates are pretty much hollow. So it's nice that you can use that as needed. There's also a ruler running down it, and then a pretty cool design on the top section that you can see stamped into it. And as we work our way to the back seats now, the interior has a really nice design to it. You'll see the red stitching. There's some of this trim piece on the grab handle there. A little bit of storage in the lower section, and then the window control, of course. And then for these seats, we have the leather with the two-tone design, all of the red stitching. And you even have additional storage space underneath the seat, which I like to see, especially for this size. So it is a two-hand process. You have to lift this tab. From there, you can lift up the bottom and then lock that into place. So this actually goes all the way to the passenger side. So you can put in some items if you need to. There's the tire changing tools and all of that. And then if you release that, the bottom will go back down. So it's nice to have that additional storage, especially for this size. Now at 5'10", I do have plenty of room with the front seat set at my height. There's 2 cup holders in the middle, the air vents, some auxiliaries, even a 3-prong down in the lower section. And then the headliner actually dips up. So I have about an inch or so above my head. It's pretty nice for a mid-sized truck. I'm definitely comfortable, probably not a long-term ride in the back, but around town, something like that. I definitely have an adequate amount of space. And right in the middle, this does have the armrest. So you can pull that down, provide you with 2 cup holders if you need to use it. Surprisingly though, this does have a sliding rear window. It's not electric though. So we have the manual adjustment there. So you can open and close that as needed. And then as we take a look at the front door panel now, just like the rear of course, there's a little bit more storage though. So there's a split design with the cubby there, the one in the lower section, all of the window controls, side mirror adjustments. This does have memory seating adjustments too, and a cool brush trim piece that's in the back section of that door panel. Now for these seats, same as the rear of course, they are heated and ventilated, which is really nice. And then all the power adjustments are located down on the side. This is an easy truck to get into, which is nice. And there's the animation that plays on both screens. You will see that in the Silverado as well. For the steering wheel, solid black leather with the red stitching. On the left side, the cruise control settings. This also has the forward sensors and all of that tech. And then on the right side, there's Bluetooth, voice commands, even volume, heated steering wheel too. And then this button will control the gauge cluster. So let's fire this back up. We can go over the rest of that information. So currently for this setup, on the left side and the right side, there are some vitals. Right in the middle is the tach along with miles per hour. You can see what gear you're in, the drivetrain too, and then your range until empty. If I push on this button again, you can scroll through, look at some trip information, look at your audio. You can pull up some off-road settings, so pitch and roll, your steering angle, transfer case, and then we have more of a calm screen with miles per hour. So that's pretty much all that you get within this system. You can also pull up your radio favorites by using this arrow right here. So not really that configurable, but it gives you all the info that you need to see on a daily basis. Now on the left side, there is a scrolling dial or a dimmer switch for the gauges. This also has the trailer braking system, so you can use that as needed. There's one air vent. You'll notice too, in a lot of Chevy models, there's no stalk over on this right side. So everything is on the left side. Turn signals, there's also the wiper blades, and then that is it. Interesting though, I don't know where the headlight controls are. If you can comment and let me know. I haven't been able to find them unless they are just automatic, which is interesting. But as we work our way to the infotainment system now, power and volume for the radios on the left side, and then for the size of the screen, I think it's very adequate. It is smaller than in the Silverado, so they made it a little bit smaller and more proportional for the size of this interior. We have some settings that you can go into, your hill descent control, look at your camera system, and then a few other settings there. If I push on phone, that is how you can pair your phone, of course. This does have Google Maps. You can pull that up in full screen, go through all the info, pull up your music, And then pushing out home allows you to go through the rest of these icons. There's Android Auto, Apple CarPlay, you have your maps, trailering, go into your climate adjustments, and then there's a few other settings here. What's really cool is it does have an air down mode. So the truck doesn't actually do this itself, but when you start airing down one of the tires, when you get to your desired PSI, the vehicle will honk the horn to let you know that you have reached that desired PSI. So you don't have to keep checking it. You can just set it, forget it, and then once the vehicle lets you know, you can move on to the next tire. Now there's also an off-road tab. So under Baja, there's G-force meter, steering angle, transfer case. You can go into the terrain setting to monitor some more of that info. And then the overland setting too gives you a compass and your altitude. Very cool to see for a vehicle like this. Now underneath that, I really like how they've double stacked all of these toggles. So it gives it a cool look. You have a lot of information, but it's also easy to go through. So like I said earlier, heated and ventilated seats, all of the AC adjustments, fan speed is right in the middle. You have some other defrosters, and then the temperature dials for driver and passenger. You can also sync these two, which is nice. So I love that layout. A lot of controls, but again, laid out very nicely. Now there's more of that trim underneath with the stitching, gloss black on that passenger side. 2 air vents are right in the middle. And then what I really love is this button right here actually puts down all 4 windows at once. Now I do wish that you could use this to put all of the windows back up. So you do have to do those individually. They have the tech to be able to do that, but I really like on those hot days, you can just push one button and put them all down. Now this has the engine start stop feature, there's the hazards, lane keeping assist, and then the auxiliary power that you can turn on and off. It also has a wireless charging pad with this camo design for the bottom, a few more auxiliaries there. And then being the Z71 with 4-wheel drive, we have those modes here for 2 high, 4 low. You can also go through the different driving modes. So on the infotainment system, there's off-road, tow and haul, there's terrain, and then the normal setting. We actually took this exact truck off the pavement and tested off-road versus terrain. So if you want to see that video, that will be on our channel as well. And then behind that, there's the electronic e-brake. And to put this into reverse, triggers in the front, put this into reverse, there's the backup camera, there's also a trailer guideline that you can use, and then a downward facing angle if you need to use that. There's drive and then a low range gear. You can also control gears with the plus and the minus. So if you're off-road or towing, that is very helpful. 2 cup holders are in the middle, along with a slot right in the middle of those. And then the armrest has this removable tray, so you can use that as needed, or you have a lot more space where you can put additional items. And then of course, with the glove box, you have a lot more room for all of that info. Like I mentioned earlier, there's a sunroof with the manual adjusting sunshade. The rest of the controls are up top, along with some OnStar controls. And then a look at visibility from the driver's seat. Pickups really don't have any blind spots, especially with this size. It feels very open from the interior, so it is easy to see all around. As we set off now behind the wheel of this sub $50,000 all new Chevrolet Colorado, it's been pretty cool to have this truck for the week. We've used it as a pickup truck. We had a motorcycle in the back to transport it, did very well with that. We took this off-roading, so again, be sure to check out that video. For a stock truck like this, Z71 with the 4-wheel drive and some of the other off-road goodies, this did really well. So take a look at how we did going through some moderate trails with this stock vehicle. It's very, very nice for under $50,000, and it was definitely time for a redesign for the Colorado. It's been very similar for the last several years, and I like the new updates. I like the new interior, the new exterior design. It's definitely a nice step up to compete with the other mid-size trucks. They're all kind of going up at the same level now. If you've seen the new Tacoma, the new Ranger even, the new Canyon, which is similar to this, of course, and they're all very nice trucks, but this is a very nice one. I do like this turbocharged 4-cylinder engine. I know that is something that a lot of mid-size truck owners are not really happy about, losing the V6. Because a lot of them do offer the V6, like the Nissan Frontier. That is now the only newest of the mid-size trucks to still keep the V6. Everything else is going with this 4-cylinder turbo. but I don't necessarily think that is a bad thing, because if I give it some gas now, we're up to speed and the engine doesn't feel like it's struggling to get up and move. From a smaller engine, we have more horsepower, or about the same horsepower, but we have a lot more torque than the outgoing V6. And so really, I don't see any issues with this. And aside from the exterior, or the sound from the exhaust, which might be the main reason people don't like that it's not the V6 anymore, because that has a good, healthy tone to it. 4-cylinder is a 4-cylinder noise. Other than that, I mean, we still have the towing capabilities. This did great off-road. It's very fuel efficient too. We have 150 miles to go with about a quarter tank. So we haven't been able, or haven't had to fill this up in a week with the amount of driving that we have done, which has been awesome for a pickup truck. That makes it a lot more daily driver friendly in my opinion. I owned a Tacoma, and gas mileage is what it is in a truck, but these smaller engines are giving you that added benefit. To me, MPG wasn't on the list buying a pickup truck because I wanted a pickup truck, but now it's something like, okay, you're getting that added benefit with the capabilities of the previous engine. So I think it's nice. We'll slow down a little bit to do another mild acceleration here. And I really don't have any issues with it. So it is nice to see the engines becoming more efficient in these models. But aside from that, with the new Colorado, I've put a lot of seat time behind the wheel. It's so nice out on the highway, very smooth and comfortable, really no wind noise, road noise. It's a well put together mid-sized truck. And now from second gear, here we go. The amount of torque that this Turbo 4 has definitely makes up, I think, for it being a 4-cylinder turbo. It has that 4-cylinder engine note, exhaust note to it, but I really don't have any complaints with its power. It gets up and moves for the weight of this truck. I think it's pretty healthy for this. We are talking almost $50,000 though, getting a 4-cylinder turbo, but I definitely don't have any complaints with it with the time that I've been behind the wheel. So for the all-new Chevrolet Colorado, with the interior looking very nice, exterior having a great design, I think it's a good update. Like I mentioned earlier, the Colorado has been the same for several years, very similar with other brands too, like the Tacomas, and I think it's a nice update. One thing that I will point out is the fact that this armrest here, to me, isn't really that comfortable, because we have the short armrest in the back, and then we have this massive piece right here where the grab handle is. You really can't rest your arm that comfortably on this piece. So it's just something to get used to. You know, you have your leg there if you want or something, but to me it's not the best layout with the amount of elevation changes within that one area. But that would be, I think, the only minor thing that I have found with this entire truck over the last 7 days. So I don't think that's really all that bad considering what this truck has to offer. But I think that is going to wrap it up for the walk-around review and test drive for this all-new Chevrolet Colorado Z71. Again, be sure to check out our off-roading video and the other content that we have made on this all-new midsize truck. Give the video a huge thumbs up if you enjoyed it, and consider smashing that subscribe button so you don't miss out on our daily uploads. And I will see you all in the next video.